All right, I'm gonna be going over the Messiahs today. Two lines of the Messiah, y'all. One from the line of Joseph, one from the line of Judah. We gonna start here. When Isaac blesses Levi and Judah. So we gonna skip down here to the good stuff. When his children stepped before Isaac, the darkness that shrouded his eyes dropped away. And he said, My son, are these thy children? For they resemble thee. And the spirit of prophecy entered his mouth. And he grasped Levi with his right hand and Judah with his left in order to bless them. And he spoke these words to Levi: May the Lord bring thee and thy seed nigh unto him before all flesh, that ye serve in his sanctuary like the angels of the face and the holy angels, princes, judges, and rulers shall they be unto all the seed of the children of Jacob. The word of God they will proclaim in righteousness, and all his judgment they will execute in justice, and they will make manifest his ways unto the children of Jacob, unto Israel his paths, and unto Judah he spake, saying, Be ye princes thou. And one of thy sons over the sons of Jacob, and these shall be the help of Jacob, and the salvation of Israel shall be found in thee. And when thou sittest upon the throne of glory of thy justice, perfect peace shall reign over all the seed of the children of my beloved Abraham. Now right there, that's when Isaac blessed Levi and Judah. Levi took the priestly robe of the tribes, and Judah became the king of the 12 sons of Jacob, which designated him to have the line of the Messiah through his blood. So now we're going to go down here to my man Joseph. Joseph, the favorite son. Joseph was an interpreter of dreams. Not one dream he wouldn't interpret without the help of the Most High. Here's one of them. Once Joseph dreamed. Yes, what is that? There's a line. Joseph had a Messiah through his line. The Messiah of Joseph and the Messiah of Judah. So let's go down here and see how Joseph got blessed for his line to be the line of Messiah, as well as Judah when he got blessed by Isaac. Blessing of Ephraim and Manasseh. I'm not going to read all of it right now, but I'm going to be right here in this part. I'm going to skip through a lot of it. In other words, when Jacob went to go bless him, bless Joseph's sons, his grandchildren, so here we go. In the words of Jacob, Ephraim and Manasseh, even as Reuben and Simon, shall be mine. Joseph had noticed his father's preference for his younger son Ephraim. It made him very anxious about his older son's birthright, and he was careful to put two lads before his father in such wise that Manasseh should stand opposite Jacob's right hand and Ephraim opposite his left hand. But Ephraim, on account of his modesty, was destined for greater things than his older brother Manasseh. And God bade the Holy Spirit to prompt Jacob to give the birthright to Ephraim. Now when Joseph observed his father put his right hand upon Ephraim's head, he made an attempt to remove it unto Manasseh's head. But Jacob warded him off, saying, What thou wouldest displace my hand against my will, the hand that overcame the prince of the angels' host, who is as large as 1/3 of the world. I know things not known to thee. I know what Reuben did to Bilhah, what Judah did to Tamar. How much more I know things known to thee. Thinkest thou I know not what thy brethren did to thee, because thou wouldest betray nothing whatever I ask? I know it. Manasseh also shall become great. The judge Gideon shall descend from him, but his younger brother will be the ancestor of Joshua, who will bring the sun and the moon to stand still, and they will have dominion over the whole earth from end to end. Thus did Jacob set Ephraim the younger above Manasseh the older, and thus it did remain unto all times. In the last of generations, Manasseh comes after Ephraim, and so it was in the allotment of the portions of the Holy Land, and so it was the placing of the camps and the standards of the tribes, the dedication of the tabernacle. Everywhere Ephraim proceeded Manasseh. And this is how Joseph's line became designated for a Messiah as well, from the blessing of Jacob. Now let's just go through here. Put in Messiah. Let's go back to 1. All right. The Messiah. Besides, the temple servers would be invested with atoning power, in paradise and hell were intended to do duty as reward and punishment. Finally, the Messiah was appointed to bring salvation, which would put an end to sinfulness. I see I can't do that. I'm just going to have to read it. Let's go to 2. I'll read that from the first Messiah. Well, I'm going to go back. The coverings of the silver and gold beds are made of purple and blue, woven by Eve, and of scarlet, and the hair of goats, woven by angels. Here dwells a Messiah on a palanquin made of wood of Lebanon, the pillars of the silver, the bottom of gold, the seat of it purple. With him, Elijah, he takes the head of the Messiah and places it in his bosom and says to him, "Be quiet, for the end draweth nigh." On every Monday and Thursday, on the Sabbaths and holidays, patriarchs come to him, and the 12 sons of Jacob, and Moses, Aaron, David, Solomon, and all the kings of Israel and Judah. They weep with him and comfort him and say to him, "Be quiet and put trust in thy Creator, for the end draweth nigh." Also Korah and his company, and Dathan, Abiram, and Absalom come to him every Wednesday and ask him, "How long before the end comes, full of wonders? When wilt thou bring us life again from the abyss of the earth? Lift us." The Messiah answers them, "Go to your fathers and ask them." And when they hear this, they are ashamed and do not ask their fathers. The song of the vulture I will hiss for them and gather them. I have rendered them. They shall increase as they have increased. The same with which the bird will, in time to come, announce the advent of the Messiah. The only difference being that when he heralds the Messiah, he will sit upon the ground and sing his verse, while at all other times he is seated elsewhere when he sings it. Let's go down here and say, "Thus was announced the advent of the Messiah, who will cut the heathen into pieces. But Abraham bade Messiah wait until the time appointed unto him. And as a messianic time was made known unto Abraham, so also the time of the resurrection of the dead. When he laid the halves of the pieces over against each other, the animals became alive. Again also the birds flew over him." What's this from? The covenant of the pieces. Though Lot owed his deliverance to the petition Abraham, yet it was at the same time his reward for not having betrayed Abraham in Egypt, when he pretended to be the brother of Sarah. But greater reward still awaits him. The Messiah will be descendant of his, for the Moabites of Ruth is the great grandmother of David, and the Ammonites of Naamah is the mother of Rehoboam. And the Messiah is the line of these two kings. The Messiah of Judah is from the line of the kings. Let me get to the good stuff. All right. right. I got to that one already. At last, Moses sallied forth from his journey to Egypt, accompanied by his wife and his children. He announced he was mounted upon the very ass that had borne Abraham to the Acacia on Mount Moriah, the ass upon which the Messiah will appear riding at the end of days, when now his journey begun. Now this was the part. Moses was riding upon the ass which the Messiah will ride upon at the end of days. Clearly not the one which they said JC rode into town. Um, no, right here's another one. When the iron yoke of the wicked kingdom will be broken and the evildoers will be destroyed, then will Moses come from the desert and the Messiah from Rome, each at the head of his flock, and the word of God will mediate between them, causing both to walk with one accord in the same direction. I'm gonna skip that one, but that one's pretty good too. Dang. Oh, here goes one here. Balaam's prophecy. I have to highlight this one for y'all. The words that Balaam announced were heard by all the inhabitants of the earth. Such power did God lend to his voice, for he knew that at some time there would be a man born of a woman who would pass himself for a god and would mislead all the world. Hence God permitted all the world to hear Balaam's words that said, God is not a man, and the man that passeth himself for God lieth. But he that will mislead the world by declaring that he will disappear for a time and then reappear will promise what he can never fulfill. Woe then to the nation that will lend ear to the man who will pass himself for God. Balaam furthermore announced the events that would come to pass at the time of David's sovereignty, and also what will happen at the end of days in the time of the Messiah, when Rome and all the other nations will be destroyed by Israel, excepting only the descendants of Jethro who will participate in Israel's joys and sorrows. Yea, the Kenites are to be ones to announce to Israel the arrival of the Messiah, and the sons of the Kenite, Jonadab, are to be the first at the time of Messiah to bring offering at the temple, to announce Jerusalem is the deliverance. This was Balaam's last prophecy. After this, the prophetic spirit left Balaam, and God in this way granted Moses wish to reserve the gift of prophecy as a special distinction to Israel. Balaam was the last prophet of the nations. So you see here, he said the man called himself God who left and said he will return. Was not. He is just a man born of a woman. Now we should move on. Moses meets the Messiah in heaven. No, we're going to keep going. This rabbi was particularly a favorite of Elijah, who even secured him an interview with the Messiah. Let me see, who is this? Rabbi Joshua startled. He cast the precious stones away from him and they disappeared. This rabbi was particularly a favorite of Elijah, who even secured him an interview with the Messiah. The rabbi found the Messiah among the crowd afflicted poor gathered near the gates of Rome, and he greeted him with the words, "Peace be with thee, my teacher and guide." Whereunto the Messiah replied, "Peace be with you, thee, the son of Levi." The rabbi then asked him, when will he appear? And the Messiah said, "Today." Elijah explained. The rabbi later that what the Messiah meant by today was that for his part was ready to bring Israel's redemption at any time, as if Israel but showed himself worthy, he would instantly fulfill his mission. All right, here we go. Elijah's preparatory work will begin 3 days before the advent of the Messiah. Then he will appear in Palestine and will utter a lament over the devastation of the Holy Land, and his wail will be heard throughout the world. The last words of his elegy will be, "Now peace will come upon thee." When the evildoers hear this message, they will rejoice. On the second day, he will appear again and proclaim goodwill come upon earth. And on the third, his promise will be heard. Salvation will come upon the earth. Then Michael will blow the trumpet, and once more Elijah will make his appearance, this time to introduce the Messiah, to make sure the identity of the Messiah. The Jews will demand that he perform the miracle of the resurrection before their eyes, reviving such the dead as they had known personally. But the Messiah will do the following 7 wonders. He will bring Moses and the generations of the desert to life, Korah and his band he will raise from out of the earth. He will revive the Ephraim Messiah, who was slain. He will show the three holy vessels of the temple, the ark, the flask, the manna, and the cruse of sacred oil, all these of which disappeared mysteriously. He will wave the scepter given him by God. He will grind the mountains of the Holy Land into powder like straw, and he will reveal the secret of redemption. Then the Jews will believe that Elijah is the Elijah promised to them, and the Messiah introduced by him is the true Messiah. The Messiah will have Elijah blow the trumpet, and at the first sound, the primal light which shone before the week of creation will appear. At the second sound, the dead will arise with the swiftness of a wind and assemble around the Messiah from all corners of the earth. At the third, the Shekinah will become visible to all the mountains will be raised. At the fourth sound, the temple will stand in complete perfection as Ezekiel described it. Now here we go. The Messiah of Judah will come, because he ain't came yet. And he will raise the Ephraimitic Messiah from the line of Joseph, which I went over previously on how Joseph was established to have a Messiah through his line. We had a Messiah once. It wasn't JC. It was from the line of Joseph, the Messiah, son of Joseph, from the tribe of Ephraim. And the tribe of Judah's Messiah is yet to come. At the end of days, he will be here. Oh, we need to go back somewhere else real quick. We need to go to Hezekiah. Miracles wrought for Hezekiah. All right, here we go. By failing in gratitude, Hezekiah lost a great opportunity. The divine plan had been to make Hezekiah the Messiah, and Sennacherib was to be Gog and Magog. As you can see, they misspelled this. I don't know why these Jews, when they write something, they don't do spell check. Any of their writings online. Gog and Magog justice opposed this plan, addressing God. Thus, O Lord of the world, David, king of Israel, who sang so many songs and hymns of praise to thee, him thou didst make thee Messiah. And now thou wouldst confer the distinction upon Hezekiah, who had no word of praise for thee in spite of the manifold wonders that thou hast wrought for him. Then the earth appeared before God and said, Lord of the world, I will sing thee a song. Place this righteous man, make him to be the Messiah. And the earth foretold and toned a song of praise. Likewise spake the Prince of the world, Lord of the world, the will of this righteous man. But a voice from heaven announced, This is my secret, this is my secret. And again, when a prophet explained sorrowfully, woe is me, how long, O Lord, how long? The voice replied, the time of the Messiah will arrive when the treacherous dealers and the treacherous dealers shall have come. So let's go to son of Joseph. That didn't work. How about put it in Akiba? Touch up on Akiba. Like Rabbi Akiba and his colleagues in the second, those who were drowned, in the third, Rabbi Johanan ben Zakkai and his disciples. What is this? For several different classes of the pious, and the first are the martyr victims, so this must be the different levels of heaven. If Moses refused to do the errand of the Lord, there was a reason. God had revealed to him the treasures of the Torah, of wisdom and knowledge, and of the whole world. Now he beheld in the inner chamber of God rows of scholars and judges interpreting the Torah 49 different ways as they sat in the court of hewn stones. And he saw besides Rabbi Akiba explaining the meaning of the crowns upon the letters. Then said Moses, I do not care to be God's messenger. Let him rather send one of these great scholars. Then God ordered the angel of wisdom to carry Messiah to a place of myriads of scholars, all interpreting the Torah, and all making use of formula. This is Halakha, revealed to Moses on Mount Sinai, where Moses recognized that even the greatest scholars of future generations would be dependent upon him, and then he at last was ready to execute the mission God desired to lay upon him. Okay, Moses, I see they didn't get this part. Thou hast a man like Akiba, and yet thou dost give the Torah to Israel through me. But God answered, Be silent, so it has been decreed by me. So Moses then said, O Lord of the world, thou hast permitted me to behold this man's learning. Let's see also the reward which will be meted out to him. God said, Go, return, and see. Moses saw them sell the flesh of martyr, Akiba, at the market. He said to God, Is this the reward for such a erudition? But God replied, "Be silent, thus I have decreed." They was going to eat Rabbi Akiva's flesh in the market. And is that any reference to communion in churches? Eating those crackers, and they refer to it as flesh. Let's see, I'm just looking for one last thing on here. Son of Joseph. Then inquired the significance of the crowns upon the letters, and was answered, "Hereafter there shall live a man called Akiba, son of Joseph, who will base in interpretation a gigantic mountain of halakha. Upon every dot of these letters Moses said, God, show me this man. God, go back 18 ranks. Moses went back, was bitten, and he could hear the discussions of the teacher sitting with his disciples in the 18th rank, but was not able to follow the discussion, which greatly grieved him. But just then he heard the disciples questioning their master in regard to a certain subject. Whence dost thou know this? And he answered, This is the halakha given to us by Moses on Mount Sinai. And not Moses was content. Moses returned to God and said to him, Thou hast a man like this, like Akiba, and thou givest me the Torah. That's what I was looking for. It's right there, and I couldn't find it before. Rabbi Akiba, son of Joseph, line of Joseph. So you can go back to Rabbi Akiba. He was during the Kobakian Wars. It's kind of tricky, but it says right here where he's the son of Joseph, which that will make him the Messiah at that time, which makes sense because they try to steal his flesh. in the market. Got other writings on him, but I'll get into that later. Alright, that should be it for now.